Hey everyone, and welcome to Back at the Ranch, Expedition Online's after show. My name is Jessica Martin from season 1, and I am here tonight with Jordan. Welcome to the ranch.
Hey guys, glad to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to talk to you. What a fun journey you had. You played a great game, and just a little unlucky twist of fate. One vote sent you here tonight.
I was in the back of my head, I was like, Jordan, I think you should be worried, but I wanted to believe that I was safe, and I guess that cost me my time.
It happens to the best of us, and you always want to believe that you're safe.
Yeah.
And there weren't really any signs pointing towards you going home tonight. It was just a smart move by Carl at the end of the day. Before we talk about that, let's start from day 0. What were your thoughts being dropped in a room with all of these strangers?
So day 0, I was not prepared. I'm gonna let you know now, I was not prepared. When we got dropped, I was like, okay, Jordan, the first thing you need to do is just start talking to everyone. And that's what I plan to do. I got in a room. The first time I got in the room, I got in the room with Robin, Austin, and Trent. And we all 3 talked, and they're like, hey, since we're here, might as well make this thing an alliance. And I was like, cool with me. Hey, the more alliances, the better. And then I ended up getting in a room with Arliana and Sneha. And I didn't really know if I was going to be with them, but I was like, hey, let's make this a thing too. And that paid off. I also got to talk to KF, and I really liked KF. And I think that's it. I'm not for sure though. But day 0 was pretty cool. I felt pretty good with like the alliances and stuff that I had made.
Yeah, you definitely put yourself in a good spot getting to know a lot of people that did make it pretty far in the game. So then on day 1, the teams are picked and you go to Kibo, which Arliana is there. And then Trent and KF are on Shira. How did you feel about your party?
So when we got split up, I was pretty comfortable. I had made that alliance with Arliana and Sneha, and we were like a 3. So I knew that I was good with them. And I also made an alliance with Robin, and me and him were tight. So I felt pretty good about my position that I was in from day 1.
Yeah, you definitely were set up in a good spot.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when Solo quit on you guys and just didn't show up?
I was like, where is this guy? Like, we were like, maybe he's having problems with his computer, or like he got the time zone wrong or something. And I was like, but hey, if he don't show up, then I won't be mad. It's gonna put me further in the game. I won't be mad.
You guys won the first 2 challenges.
Okay.
But so you lost him regardless of that. Then when you guys get to round 3, you do have to make your first vote. You don't have someone quit. So it comes down to JJ the man that night. And I remember that vote started off, it was going to be Jon Snow. And I think it may have been you that wanted to flip it to.
Yep. When we first got dropped, day 0, I don't know. It was something about Jon Snow that I did not like. He rubbed me the wrong way. Like when we were introducing ourselves, and he was like, Canadians first. And I was like, okay, I'm not a Canadian. Hey, I'm from Texas. So when he said that, it kind of threw me off, and I was like, I don't know if I like this guy. And so when we were voting, I was like, I look, you want to get rid of Jon Snow, but I don't want to push it, because I don't want it to seem like I'm making decisions for our party, because doing stuff like that is going to put a target on your back. So I was like, hey, I threw his name out there, and hopefully people picked up on it. But I guess JJ was the plan. So Danielle was the one she said that she didn't trust JJ. And I was like, when she started saying the things, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because he's always like doing something, and it's not like it's like he's never paying attention and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But I was just like agreeing, because why not?
Yeah. It's interesting to me that she had taken the vote off of Jon Snow at that time because she didn't
Mhm.
like him at all.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knew about their past until she brought it up. Like he didn't mention it to me, and even that I think it was that day. She was like, "Yeah, I'm in an alliance with Jon Snow, Robin, and some other people," and I was like, "Oh, okay," because that was new to me. And so for her to like later on in the game be like, "I hate Jon Snow, I hate him," it was so weird.
A roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, and I feel like with her, like she kept bringing him up, and nobody really cared for a while, but she just made it a target for herself, made herself a target.
Yeah. So after that vote, you guys do the party swap. You still stay on Kibo, you're in the majority. Um, Lindsay and Austin come over from Shira. Austin is lucky enough to get abducted. Was there anything Lindsay could have done to save herself that day, or you guys were just like, she's gone?
There was, I mean, in my opinion, I didn't really like, I didn't need her because I had numbers. So I didn't really need her to be there. The more Kibo that we had going into the rendezvous, the better. Um, in my opinion, the best bet for the original, well, Shira died, they should have left them both and took one of the original Kibo with them. It would have been smarter for them to do that so that either Lindsley and Austin, they could have connected more with us and maybe like formed an alliance. It would have been more better for them to do that than to save Austin because it really did show that they cared more about him than her.
Yeah, that's actually been a popular opinion from your former party mates.
Yeah.
There's really nothing she could do on her own. I thought that maybe she would try to link up with the girls and take
Hmm.
Robin out, but
It wouldn't have happened.
yeah,
Well, she wouldn't have had me, but maybe them. She could have probably convinced them, but not me.
yeah, you guys were very tight. Um, so then, yeah, the next part, Austin does come back next time, and it ends up being him. He does fight though, and he does try to push you guys to vote
Oh
Robin,
yeah.
and he was kicking and screaming. He really fought, but
Hey, I if me and Robin and Austin would have gotten in the room right after the challenge, I feel like we could have kept him because we did have an alliance from day zero. And I wanted to work with Austin because Austin was a great dude. He could play the game, and I want to play with people like that. And so I really wanted to keep him. But then when I got in a room with him, and he had talked to Robin, and Robin was basically like, "Yeah, man, you have no shot." And I was like, "Dang, I wish you wouldn't have told him that because we could have saved him." And when he said that, when Robin said that, he basically put a target on his back. And Austin was like, "Yeah, I want to make a big move. Let's get rid of Robin." And I was like, I thought about it, but I was like, man, I think I want to hang on to him a little bit longer because I feel like Robin will take me a little further in the game. And Robin was my shield. So having him there was perfect for me.
yeah, no, that is a smart play. I think it would have been a big move for Austin and for you, but it might have been a little too early
Yes.
at that point. The next vote is sheer vote. They kidnap Robin.
When he got abducted, I was like, man, I really wish he was me, but hey, it didn't really matter. Um, I I think when we got back to base camp, I was telling the girls, I was like, it would be kind of smart for him to vote, but I was like, I don't know how to work. But when I guess the vote was coming down to Arliana and Jon Snow, and I wanted to hang on to Arliana because I knew that I could trust her, and I didn't like Jon Snow. So I was like, hopefully they get this guy out because he he's stirring up the pot too much. But honestly, in my opinion, if I was on original Shira, I would have gotten rid of Arliana. And the reason that I'm saying this is because Jon Snow was so like he kept flip flopping, and I would also would have gotten rid of her because she was so tight with the original Kibo tribe. You knew that she was not gonna flip to the other side. So it would have been better for them going into the rendezvous. They might have had Jon Snow, but they definitely wouldn't have had her.
Yeah, Jon Snow would be out for vengeance.
Yeah, and Jon Snow would have been a perfect like a perfect person to take to the rendezvous because he had such a target on himself. It would everybody would be looking at him than original Shira.
Mm-hmm. That's a smart move. So you guys do get to the rendezvous, and it's a pretty straightforward send Michael packing. Um, was it you? Did you want to send KF originally home, or was that someone else's idea?
I don't even know. When I tell you, I can't remember half of the things that I said during the game, and that's what screwed me towards the end. It could have been me, but I don't even know. I mean, I was fine with Michael too because when um he came to our our camp, I forget what happened.
Oh yeah, you guys kidnapped him at one
Yeah,
point.
we kidnapped him and he came to our camp. And Michael, he looked like he was playing the game. He was too quiet. He like when we were asking him questions, he really wasn't like giving me the answers that I wanted. So I was like, I gotta watch out for this guy.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to trust someone who's not giving you any information at all. So it makes sense
Hmm.
why you guys picked him. Um,
Hmm.
and we also have to note that first individual challenge, how much you kicked ass.
Oh
You
my
and
goodness.
Trent have killer memories. Like,
I I was not. I really thought that I was gonna get out. And after a while, I was guessing a lot and it paid off. And I was like, man, if Trent doesn't get this, if I get this wrong, wait, no, I was like, if I get this right the next one, I'm just gonna let him have it because my brain was so fried I could not remember a thing. When I tell you I was done.
we were all watching it. We were just like, how long is this gonna go? Like,
I
we have enough
know.
words prepared for this.
I was like, man, this guy is not giving up. And I was like, if something doesn't happen, then I'm just gonna let him have it. Cause I knew I'd be safe, but it was just like I kind of wanted the first individual exemption. Yeah, I wanted the first individual exemption. So
Yeah, and I mean, like, you always were very good and consistent in challenges, but I think this just like solidified you as being like a challenge beast in this season.
and nobody was paying attention. I knew that like because I'm a really competitive person. And so I was like, I gotta my friend was telling me, he was like, Jordan, when you play these games, you kind of gotta half-ass it, basically. Um, but I was like, I don't think I can do that because like I want to win. And throughout the season, nobody like really picked up on it until towards the end. And I think I was in the jury group and we were talking about it and they were like, Jordan, yeah, you were a challenge beast. And I was like,
No,
yeah.
it's funny because I feel like when people did think about you being a threat, they thought of it in the sense of how you have so many connections and socially you're aligned. But no, I don't know if I've ever heard someone just be scared about that, and they should be. But like the social
Yeah,
thing just kind of overtook it.
exactly. And I did so well in our party sorry, I forget what it's called, exemptions.
Exemption, yeah.
In our party exemptions, and then I won the first one, and then the second one that we had, I was this close, this close to winning, but nobody picked up on it. I wasn't gonna complain, but
Yeah, right.
it was bad on their part. But
Shame on them.
yeah.
So yeah, the second day of the rendezvous, and that's when Arliana goes home.
With that vote, I thought about it all night, and I thought about the Austin vote, and he was saying how a lot of people in season two, there was two people that were in the majority the entire season. And there was one person who wasn't, and he ended up winning the game. And I thought about that a lot, and I was like, he is right. I mean, we do have to make some big moves. I need to start building up my resume, and so I made a list. I don't have it anymore, but I made a list of everybody that I wanted to go home, the order, and who I wanted to go to the final with, and that's when I thought it was the final three. And Arliana was first. Um, I
Oh,
I I can't remember. We were in a room. It was me, Robin, Danielle. Was it Danielle? Maybe it have been Sneha and Arliana and KF, and Trent's name was coming up. And I was like, yeah, these votes, I mean, we can do that. But I was like, I need to get in the room with Robin because I want to make a big move. And so I pitched the Arliana idea. And he was like, if you want to do it, let's do it, basically. And so after that, he was like, I'll go talk to KF and Lainey and basically convince them to vote for her. And I'll stay in a room with them until Crossroads. And I was like, okay, I'll go talk to Trent and I'll sit in the room with him. And it worked out. It worked out the way that I wanted it to.
That's awesome. So
Mhm.
what was your reasoning that Ariana was first on your list?
Ariana was a great social player. With the original Kibo, I'd say the top three were me, Robin, and Ariana. Danielle and Sneha were kind of like at the bottom, so I knew that if we went further on in the game, that I could beat them. I knew that Ariana, she could talk to people really well, and that was something that I kind of struggled with a little bit. It may seem like I didn't, but I did. And she had kind of had connections on the other side. I don't really know what happened when we swapped. She could have made alliances with them, and I didn't know that. So I was like, she's got to be the first one to go if we're gonna flip.
That is very good reasoning.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we get to the next vote, and you guys end up sending Danielle home. I know Danielle was on your party, but I never felt like she was really in the main alliance.
Hmm. So the plan, I did not want to get rid of her that night. I wanted, and I kind of feel bad for saying this. Me and KF kind of like, I feel like we kind of had a bond at the beginning, but once we split, I really forgot about it. Um, but I think the plan that night, I wanted to get rid of him, and Danielle was she was causing so much problems when we got back to base camp. It was so hard to save her. She played a compass the night that Arliana went home that nobody knew about. So that was a perfect reason to get rid of her. And then she was saying that she had like a double compass or something like that.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Forgot
yeah,
about that.
yeah. And then she did not want to trust me. And I'm like, if you don't trust me, then you're gonna go home. That's what I was thinking in my head. But if she would have been like, okay, Jordan, I will I will be with you to the end. If you save me, then I would have talked to Robin and been like, hey, let's get rid of I wanted Carl to go home. That was my plan. The I'd say the only mistake that I made was when we did get rid of Arliana, I did not let Danielle know about it. Um, we really didn't need her vote because as long as we had five, we were good. But at the same time, I probably should have told her just to make her feel a little more comfortable because she was blindsided. So the night that she went home, well, no, after Arliana went home, she didn't have any faith in me. So it would have been better for me to let her know about the vote, but at the same time, I didn't want to tell her, and then she tell Arliana, and who
Yeah,
knows what Arliana has.
it's a double-edged sword
Hmm.
because when you orchestrate a blindside, you don't want to tell everybody on the off
Yeah.
chance someone
Yep.
does tell someone. And I don't know if you knew this, but Ariana had a compass that night
Yep.
too. So if she got tipped off,
I did not know about the compass. And when I got voted out, she told me that she had a compass, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know. So it was perfect because we sent her home with the compass, and I know she felt terrible. I would have felt terrible if I would have went home with a compass, but I'm glad that we didn't tell anybody because if we did, she could have possibly played it if she knew about it. But at the same time, I did lose trust in two people. Well, two people lost trust in me.
but it's okay because they both went home. So you were in the clear after that.
Yep.
So we get to round 10 where you unfortunately end your expedition. Carl has exemption that night, and everyone is guns out for Robin.
Hmm.
You vote for Sneha.
Hmm.
Talk me through this vote.
Going in, well, when we got back to base camp after KF1, I didn't want to vote for her. I really wanted to talk to her and see if we could like rekindle our relationship. But it was like when I was talking to her, she didn't want to hear it. It was going through one ear and coming out the other. And she was just really trying to get out the room with me. She didn't want to talk to me. And so I was like, I mean, if she doesn't want to work with me, then why should I keep her in the game? And so um when we were talking to everybody else, nobody really wants to say a name. And so I forgot who brought her name up, but I was like, hey, I might have brought it up. I don't even remember, but I was like, let's just get rid of her. Um that night I kind of felt a little bit in my gut that maybe it wasn't gonna plan out the way that I wanted it to, because I don't know. I didn't get to talk to Lainey, and I didn't get to talk to KF. Robin said that he talked to KF and told him Sneha, but I didn't get to do that personally. I talked to Trent, and Trent was like, "Yeah, let's do that." And I'm like, maybe they'll vote with us because we did save them so many times. Maybe they will vote with us, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've just to clarify, Sneha was left out of the Arleon vote too, right? That's where
hmm
you guys kind of separated.
hmm
Okay.
And I'm glad that we didn't tell her either because I think that she said that if she knew about it, that she would have told her.
Goodness, a good thing you didn't tell her.
hmm And she also has to realize that she told me that. Why would I tell you that we're gonna vote out her if you're gonna go tell her? You know?
Yeah, exactly. So basically it just comes down to that Carl is really smart and has a
Oh,
target
too
on his back
smart.
for a reason.
Oh my goodness. Never like after I got voted out, I didn't know who voted me out. I thought it was Lainey who voted for me because I thought that her and like KF had a plan. And when we were in Crossroads, uh, I really couldn't hear. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Yes.
Yeah, my internet went out. And so like I'd hear I'd say hello and Doc would be like, "Are you there?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And then after that, I couldn't hear anything. Um so I think once he had said, "Does anybody want to play a compass?" It just I couldn't hear anything after that. And after a while I kind of figured that it might have been me only because Lainey was laughing and I was like, why are you laughing? Um and once he finally read the votes and the last vote came down to me, it was sad. But it was very smart on KF's part to vote for me. Once Robin played his compass, it was either going to be me or Sneha. And I it's kind of funny how Lainey tried to like say it was like her move, but she didn't even know that KF was voting for me. He had to tell her to play her compass for Sneha.
Yeah, no, that was it all KF's plan.
It
And
was very smart for him. Very smart. Like I once I got voted out, I was like upset because I was like, dang, I knew I could have won the game. But I was like, it's smart on his play. I would have gotten rid of myself.
yeah, because you're a good player. You were really tight with Robin. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. You were good in so many different aspects of the game. So even though you did get voted out, it's a compliment that they didn't want you there because you were a big threat.
Mm-hmm.
So are you happy overall with how you played? Because I think you should be really proud of the game you played.
I'm glad the game that I played. Only thing I wish is that I would have found a compass. Going into the game, I really, really, really wanted to find one. I mean, I stayed up after each day. I stayed up for like 2 hours looking for compasses, and I couldn't find anything. And it would have been great if Robin would have told me that he found one. Because if he would have told me, he could have told me how he found it. Because I kind of knew that we could share because we all had the same clues. So I'm pretty sure if we even talked about it, and we're like, hey, if you go on here and you search up here on Reddit, you can find the compass. One of the mods would have told us we can't do that if we weren't allowed to.
Yeah, no,
So
you're so right. And it's funny you say that because most of the people I've talked to had no idea that there was only one set of clues and everyone could just claim that compass once.
yeah, and if
But
he would have told me after he played his, I would have played mine if I had had one. And it would have been so crazy. I thought about this all night. The night that I went home, I was like, if I would have played a compass, after Lainey played hers on Sneha, and if I would have played mine, she would have been home. She would have went home. I would have been like, yeah, I want her out. It would have been so funny that she played her compass on somebody else and then ended up going home.
that would have been funny.
Yeah,
The what ifs.
I know.
But now that you're on the jury, who are you rooting for to win at the end?
So now that I'm on the jury, I'm rooting for my boy Robin to win. And a lot of people, I don't know if they like him or not, but my reasoning for him is that we've been like so tight since day one. I've always had his back, he's always had mine. A lot of the things that we did in the game, we did together, like the Arliana vote and getting rid of other people and stuff like that. So I felt like I could play my game through him. And if he won, then I felt like in a way that I won as well. So
Yeah. Oh, that's an awesome way to look at it. It's a great feeling to see your ride or die alliance member get to the end and
mhm,
succeed. You did play a part in it.
mhm.
Um, so what did you think overall? Did you enjoy your experience? Would you play again?
I would definitely play again. Oh my goodness. If I played again, I feel like so okay, when I was going into the game, for some reason in my head I thought it was like a mini series or something. So I was like, okay, you have to play like this because if they invite you for a season, and people saw how you played in the past, they'll want to work with you. And so that's why I was like super, 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 super loyal. But I mean, I'm like that anyways, but I was like, I want to make sure people know that so that if I do get invited back, they'll be like, okay, I want to work with Jordan. Um, but yeah, that the game had me stressed, so stressed.
Yeah. And you guys too. So this is a mini series for us. It's the first week-long game we've ever run. So you guys were the OGs kicking it off and testing the week project out for us.
Mhm.
But yeah, we do have the full game too. Would you ever want to do that one?
Oh yes, yes, I would. Oh my goodness, I would love to do it. And this time, hopefully, I'll win.
Yeah. Well, we loved having you on the show. You were so kick-ass and so fun to watch. And thank you for sitting down with us. And I hope we get to see you again in the future.
Me too. I mean, I'm here, I'm always willing to come back. I'll even work for you guys. Shoot.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to take you up on that. Um, do you have any parting words for the people?
No, just hopefully you guys get to see me again. I'd love to play with Chantel, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you guys would be a fun power duo.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. If I got to play with Chantel, that would be my number one. Yeah.
I like it.
But the game was fun. The season was hectic. I mean, with so much going on towards the end, it was just hard to keep up with. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I hope everybody else enjoyed watching it. And yeah,
Awesome. Well, this has been Back at the Ranch. We will see you guys for the next episode. And Chantel, if you're listening, you got an alliance member right here.
hmm bye.